up? What are you nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and I am finally doing my hashtag book nerdigan discussion on Guardian by Heather Burch. And I first of all want to say I'm sorry, Heather Burch, that it has taken so long for me to do this book nerdigan discussion video. And I really want to thank you for reaching out to me on Twitter and for watching my Halflings book nerdigan discussion video. I really love it when authors watch my videos and give me feedback. And she also, if you follow me on Twitter, which I really hope you do because I get tweets from the authors. It's really awesome. She actually did something really cool. She sent me a picture of her son, and her son actually inspired her to write about Raven. Her son inspired the character of Raven, I should say. There we go. Which I think is awesome. So anyway, please go look at my Twitter. It's way down on my Twitter somewhere. Actually, you could go on my favorites on my Twitter because I favorited it. That's right. If you have not read Halflings, Guardian, or watched my Halflings book nerdigan discussion video, then why are you here? Go read the books. Go watch the video. It's really worth it. You're not going to know what I'm talking about otherwise. And here's the cover for Guardian. It's beautiful. I love the cover. And obviously Minnie Popo is showing it off and it looks beautiful. And on the bottom, in case you can't see it, it says they chose to protect her but forgot to guard their hearts, which it's, I love it. So something that's different, let's get to it anyway. Let's get to it. So something I love that's different with this one, I love that we get a Vine chapter, because the last book in Halflings, we didn't really get to know Vine that much. And yes, his gummy worm addiction is contagious, and it makes me want gummy worms. I don't have any gummy worms, otherwise I would get some gummy worms. And Nikki promised Vine that she wouldn't get involved with Mace or Raven. And something that I want to mention is that, oh yeah, before I forget, this is obviously part of my hashtag AngelReadAthon. So when I get to my book, the Ultimate Book Nerdigan rant, it's going to come back. It will. Stuff in this book, from this discussion, it's definitely going to come back. It really will. Something that that's going to be a trend in the hashtag book nerdigan rant is the theme of staying away from the Fallen and the Guardian. The Fallen and the Guardian. You know, the Angel of Light, the Angel of Darkness, that kind of thing. So I kind of like that we have that theme throughout this marathon, except for with the exception of the Immortal City series. That's the only exception, and maybe Pemron and the End of Days. Pemron and the End of Days, it didn't really have that theme either, and same with, and the other one that didn't have that theme was, what was it? The Embrace series. That didn't have either. So some of the books in the hashtag AngelReadAthon / hashtag Demon Readathon aren't going to have that theme, but a good chunk of them will have that theme. So I just want to make sure that I mention that. So a Heaven and another Halfling are going to inform Will that the two angels who were here informed, and this is what Will says, quote, the two angels who were here informed me a transport ship went down at the hands of the Journey, and they think we need to accompany Sky, Dash, and Ocean to Europe. And the angels also informed me that Omega is pulling in several new scientists and that are experts in genetics, a whole new team, in fact. Just before they arrived, Heaven whispered and told me to prepare for an ocean village. And I love that Sky, Dash, and Ocean are sexy Aussie halflings. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry for saying this. And the female nerdigans, you guys could agree with me on this. The Aussie accents are fucking sexy as hell. They are sexy as hell. I love the Aussie accents. There's just something about them that are hot. It's hard to describe. And you guys know I'm a sucker for blonde hair and blue eyes, so bodies. Kami and Arceus, I don't know what it is with. This is why I love mythical creatures. It's the mythical men, especially Kami and Arceus, they're always hot. They're always sculpted to perfection. Oh, man. Why can't they just exist in real life? Kami, damn it. Well, they probably do, but they just need to come here. Just need to come visit me. Kami, damn it. Come to Sacktown! So there's something called wing cups, which is a very interesting concept that we don't see in a lot of, I believe we don't really see them in any of the other Angel series, maybe with the exception of Pemron and the End of Days we see it, but we don't see them in, or something like that in Pemron and the End of Days, but we don't see them in any of the other Angel series, which is really interesting. So I like this, I like the concept of this. Maybe with, well, I'm trying to think if the Embrace series mentions this or not, with, because the reason why I mentioned the Embrace series is because of the Nephilim's weakness is titanium. So, and I believe they said that the wing cups are, I don't remember if they said they were made of titanium or not. If they were made of titanium, then that's a similar thing as well. So, I like that. If the wing cups are made of titanium, then you have that similar theme of Nephilims being weakened to titanium, which I really like. I like that we have that similar thing of titanium. And it kind of reminds me of, oh my, Kami and Arceus, what is it? It kind of reminds me of that, you know how Fae are weak to iron? It reminds me of that kind of thing, and I love it. Anyway, and we'll get to that when we get to the hashtag AngelReadAthon, how that's always consistent, which I really love. Anyway, and poor Zero, like, I love poor Zero when he's going on the ship and where is it? Where the fuck? And poor Sky Dash and Ocean are just not letting him bring his juice boxes and his Pop-Tarts, or they're trying not to let him bring him, and I'm just like, oh, poor Zero, I would be so pissed off about that too. I'm curious who inspired Heather Burch, the character of Zero was inspired by. I'm just curious about that. If it was inspired by another son or who. I'm just curious about that. Because I like Zero as a character. He's funny as hell. So Ocean, this is what Ocean said, and this is why they're traveling by water, which is interesting. And it kind of reminds me of the Embrace series a little bit, because it reminds me of when they were in the Greek Isles, and they were when they were doing the ritual, and they were oh, what was it? And they were sending the exiles into water, or they were that's how they were killing them, or returning them. Excuse me. There we go. And poor Zero is afraid. Yeah, they're titanium. There we go. So this is what the wing cup says. They are titanium. There we go. They are titanium. So that theme of titanium. Well, titanium was blocking their senses in the Embrace series. Titanium is an actual weakness here. So that theme is kind of similar. So I kind of like that. Anyway, so an illegal shipment of titanium was making its way to the States. It was being used for wing cups, so the titanium bracelets that clamp around a halfling's midsection. And again, poor Zero is afraid of the of the water. So here we go. So this is what Ocean says about why they're traveling on via the water instead of the air. Demons and hellhounds have been cast to the dry places. They crave water but aren't successful at finding it or navigating through it. A big body of water creates a lot of difficulty for them. There's nowhere for them to go if they leave their part of the midplane. It's fairly unlikely any would choose to land on the boat. They're weaker They're weaker when they are out of the dry places. And plus, with all of us on here, it would be certain death. And I love the girl bonding time with Nikki, Glimmer, Winter, and Vegan, and they give them a makeover. I would love to get a makeover by them. I totally would. But I would be, because I'm a Jew, I'm very cheap, and I'm a total label whore. I would demand them to take me to Marshalls, probably. I would demand them to take me to, like, Marshalls and Ross and TJ Maxx to get me clothes. Because if you've seen my birthday dedication to Betsy Johnson, you know I get my shit on the cheap. I get my designer stuff on the cheap. Like, this is a Michael Kors shirt. I got it from Salvation Army. I got it really cheap. Anyway, enough about that shit. obviously courtesy of the throne, and this is all courtesy of the throne, which I think is awesome, that the throne is paying for everything, but still, I would still be on the cheap. And since they provide the halflings money, and then they went bowling, which I think is cool. And because Nikki is a seer, and this was mentioned in halflings, evil is naturally just drawn to her. And as I mentioned earlier, the bastards wouldn't let Zero bring a case of juice box, but at least he got to bring the Pop-Tarts. And I actually have a case of Pop-Tarts right now. Ironically, I just think that's funny. So they're heading to France, to the Viennese in France. And the mid-lane, from what they were saying, is similar to camping. And it kind of reminds me of how they described it. Reminds me of the Angel Realm in the Angel Burn trilogy. Because the Angel, if you guys remember, Nerdigans remember, in the Angel Burn trilogy, if you haven't read it, I'm spoiling it for you right now. When Alex went to the Angel Realm, it was all nature, and it was like camping in there. It was beautiful. It was like humans didn't touch it. It was gorgeous. That's what it reminded me of. Let's see. So Will, this was, I thought was cool. So you can add, so halflings have the ability to touch faith. And I would love, like a ball of faith. And I would love to be able to touch a ball of faith. And not only halflings, but humans can touch a ball of faith, too. I want to touch a ball of faith. That'd be awesome. If I could touch a ball of faith, that would be kick-ass. Where's my ball of faith? Anyway, and I love, the thing is I love the moments with Raven, as I said, I'm hashtag Team Raven. I want to know what if your Nerdigans are hashtag Team Raven, hashtag Team, oh gosh, I feel really bad that oh my god, it's been so long since I've read this book. Hashtag Team Mace, there we go. If you're hashtag Team Mace or hashtag Team Raven, I really want to know, please leave it in the comments section. I love the time with Raven and Nikki, because Raven has this sense of freedom, and I love the nickname, Raven gives that nickname to her, Freedom. I want Raven to give me a nickname. And Heather, if you're watching this, please give me a nickname. That would be kick-ass. Tweet me, and Heather, if you're watching this, either leave me my halfling nickname in the comment section, or tweet me my halfling nickname. That would really kick ass. I would love that. I would love my halfling nickname. And for the rest of the Nerdigans watching, what would your halfling nickname be? I want to know what your halfling nickname would be. Please, I want to know what your halfling nickname would be. Anyway, let's see. So apparently Omega is doing human halfling splicing, and splicing horses spirit horse DNA, which is just insane. Just imagine how strong these horses are. Imagine like if this was imagine if we were in oh shit. Imagine if we were in a god mythology world, like a Percy Jackson kind of thing, or a oh, what's another one? Or Starling. Imagine if it was fused with like a Pegasus DNA, or imagine if it was fused with like a Fey horse DNA, like from the Huntsman. Oh, that would be kick-ass. Heather Burch, if you are watching this, make it happen. Make a Fey series like this. I want to see this shit happen. I gave you an inspiration right there. Gave you credit. And poor Will. I feel so bad for Will. Will is trying his damnedest to tan, and he just can't. But like the rest of the halflings tan, and that reminds me of me and my mom and me. So you wouldn't be able to tell if you met my mom. You wouldn't be able to tell she's my mom. Because my mom, I'm 5'6". My mom is like 5'2", 5'3"-ish. She's white. I'm like gold. Well, I tan easily, so I can get really dark brown, olive brown. And she has blue eyes, and she can't tan. She burns or freckles. I tan. It's hilarious. But I understand where Will's coming from, because my mom can't tan for shit. So this is how Nikki, on how she knows when to draw, which I think is amazing. And this is how I feel like I know when to make my videos, to be honest, and how to write, or how I feel like when I'm ready to read, or when I'm ready to create something, like whether it's a blog, or writing a blog, or tweeting, or creating or doing a live stream, something like that. Basically what it is electric, almost living. Like the pencil was alive in my hand. I just connected, and the drawing happened. This is why I love the writing. I love how it's written. This is called good writing, people. And this is a reason why I'm totally hashtag Team Raven right here. And Nikki says it right here, because he could see through all of Nikki's walls and masks, and he still loves her. That's why I'm Team Raven, because he could still see through. I want a guy like that. I want a guy that can see through, and I've had that before, where they can see through all of my see through all of my walls and masks, and still love me for me. And I've had that before, and it's got to be, and I've lost it too, sadly. And it's the best feeling in the world when you find someone like that. So that's why that's one of the reasons why I'm hashtag Team Raven. And this is what Raven says on Faith, and I love it. And this is good writing right here. So props to you, Heather. No one can teach you because you can't learn it. Because what Mace was trying to do is Mace was trying to teach her how to grasp faith. And that's why I'm not Team Mace, because yeah, Mace is uber gorgy, and I love his as much as I love his blue eyes. Nerdigans know I am a sucker for blue eyes. I really am. I love the blue eyes. I really do. But Mace, the thing is with Mace is, and Mace kind of reminds me of my ex in this way, is Mace is just very forceful, and he's trying to, and forceful is, and very bossy. And bossy is good in certain situations, but not when you're trying to teach someone how to embrace something. Especially when Raven says this, especially when it comes to faith like this. So no one can teach you because you can't learn it. You have to feel it from within. Faith has to become part of who you are. It's not a separate item. It's woven into you. And Raven let Nikki, and I thought this was really sweet, so that Nikki can gain some faith in herself. Raven let Nikki borrow some of his faith, so she can touch it, so that way she can even though he didn't tell her, which I kind of thought was meh. I think what he should have done, honestly, I know why he didn't do it, but what he would have done, and I would have liked it, is that if he would have said, look, I'm going to give you some of my faith so that you can, so that way you can touch it, so you have an idea of what faith feels like, so that way you can embrace faith. That would have been, that's how I would have learned how to embrace faith, to be honest. Because that's how I learn, is I need to be able to feel it for myself. I need to be able to understand, it and have a feeling for it before I can do it. But, I love that we get backstories too. And that's really, for even the side characters like Winter. And this is Winter's backstory. She said, I was captured once, tortured for days, maybe weeks. It was a very long time. I've had a hard time getting used to sleeping below decks. And I'm going to be, I'm going to be an anime nerd again here for just a second, / manga nerd again for a second here. Winter's backstory kind of reminds me a little bit of Urza, from Fairy Tail, because Urza kind of went through something similar, because she was captured and she was tortured, but Urza wasn't raped. She was tortured and she was enslaved. So it was a little bit different. So, but it was similar. Anyway, so Nikki draws a train crash. Well, it was more like a terrorist attack that will happen in the near future in France. And the sign says, Alsace Vosage, 105 kilometers. And according to Zero, it's the Rhine River in France and the Vosage mountains. And the halflings, so when the train, to try and stop the train, or slash stop the terrorist attack and the train accident, the halflings throw themselves at the train to try and stop it. And the thing is that, and I've learned this, if you've been reading the books that I've had, especially like the Greek mythology books, the base fiction books, you'll learn that what is it? That prophecies always have a funny way of coming true. They always will come true in the funniest ways, or they always, or not, sometimes the funniest ways, but they will always come true. They will always find a way to come true. You can't stop it, even though you try. They just happen. So, and this is why I really like this series a lot. Is this series embraces the human power of prayer and shows you how powerful prayer is, and Embrace did it to an extent as well, but this series really emphasizes it, and I really love it. So Nikki was able to see and stop death, which I thought was so badass, because you didn't get that in the Embrace series. To an extent, you got it because spoiler alert right here. Because Lincoln was able to prevent, to prevent Violet's death because he prayed for her to live, and and you also saw it with in the in the disruption duology. You go read. I'm not going to spoil it too much. The disruption duology. You just gotta flat out read the disruption duology. That series is so good by Jessica Shrivington. You just gotta read that series. If you remember in the disruption duology, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. And Will helped her actually overcome death. And according to Will, death was just intimidating her. And death was coming from Mace. It wasn't coming for her. It was coming from Mace. So I thought I loved that we got to see that. Got to see death. I thought that was cool. And Holy Coming Narcissus, when we got that kiss with Mace and Nikki, that was awesome. It was good kiss, good kissing scene. And poor Raven, and I felt so bad for Raven because he felt the power of that kiss and disappeared, but saved Nikki from being crushed by a train before leaving. And I was like, oh, poor Raven. Oh. But if Nikki doesn't want Raven, I'll just take him. I'll take Raven. Raven, you could come to my place. Anyway, so according to Raven, so when the end of days, and I love that we get another end of days. This is another thing for end of days, because we get, and this is what I love about the hashtag AngelReadAthon that we're doing, because we get multiple perspectives of end of days. And when we get to, just wait until we get to The Fallen by Thomas Sinigowski. Just wait till we get to that series. Oh, God, Narcissus, you're gonna love what Thomas Sinigowski does. Let's see. So when the end of days arrived, it would signal judgment. Like humans on that great and terrible day, halflings would be measured by the measured by the throne, their deeds exposed. But while humans were allowed a safety net called salvation, and only humans who refused the gift would end up in hell, half angel, half human beings had nothing to fall back on, which is similar to what the angelic reapers, the angelic and demonic reapers had in the Angel Fire series. With no written word, no contract, no covenant, the eternal fate of all halfling living and dead remained unclear, and there would be no arguing with the heavenly decision. That's what you get for being an unwilling freak of nature, and that's so sad. It's really sad. So this is what, so Dr. Richmond, I'm going to put my hair up for a second because I'm getting really, really hot. These lights make it really hot in here, so excuse me. This is what I get for having good light, trying to have good lighting in here. So what Dr. Richmond says on the horses, because Raven is trying to get on the inside and get on Dr. Richmond's good side so he learns more about Omega. So this is what Richmond says on the horse. He says once they've perfected these animals, they'll breed hundreds of thousands of them, an army, Raven, a literal army. And then he says part of the beauty of the project before it went sideways was that the personality traits from the calm animals, I lost my thing because I was trying to fix the cord. From the calm animals could be introduced to violent animals controlling their temperament. Now they inject to calm the animals so the subject remains in that dormant state until a new injection is administered, days, weeks, even months. And we find out that it was Dr. Richmond who set fire to the lab because he wanted to stop the project because he thought it was dangerous. I thought that was really interesting that it was him that did it. You wouldn't think it would be Dr. Richmond, but because he was so invested in the horses, because he loved those horses, and he didn't like what he was seeing, he was the one that did it. I thought that was cool. That was a nice little twist by Heather. So, nice job, Heather. Nice. I'm giving you props for that. Let's see. How are we doing on time? Oh, okay, we're doing good. Let's see. So in exchange for helping Richmond free the horses, Raven will get a plan of the lab. So that was smart. So halflings, like angels, are not meant to be alone. And it reminds me of, to an extent, it reminds me of Fae, too, because Fae are not solitude creatures as well. They don't like being alone either. So I like that we have that. I'm just giving you a parallel right there. And I was so happy that Nikki gave Mace the fucking business right here. And this is why I'm Team Raven, because I can't, some of the shit Mace does really pisses me off. It frustrates the hell out of me. And it's the same thing with Rafi. But the difference between Mace and Rafi, well, Rafi's besides Rafi being a full-blooded angel, is that Rafi is at least funny. Rafi is funny. Mace doesn't have that humor that Rafi has. So, let's see. You know when you're, and this is, because Mace is trying to control Nikki so much, and I don't like that. Nikki knows when she's ready to train. Let her train. Just let her train on her own, and that's why I like Raven, because Raven was giving her space, and Mace is just so controlling, and it just is annoying as hell. I hate that shit. I'm sorry. I hate it. Ugh. I hate that crap. I'm sorry. I think that's what, I don't know if Heather did it on purpose to make Mace and Raven's personalities complete opposites like that, but if you did that, it's just, this is why I want you to make another installment, and you'll understand when I get to the next Book Nerdigan video. You'll understand why there needs to be another installment. But anyway, so Nikki takes Raven's motorcycle and goes to the ruins and finds Raven. So this is what Raven says on the ruins. So yeah, there are even ruins of the Turkish bathhouses beneath some of the mineral spas. The ancient Romans used to come here to soak in the mineral water because they thought it would heal their illnesses and make them immortal. Well, for those of us who've been here a while, we think it's probably because halflings began dwelling at Viennese centuries ago, and they didn't seem to age. The ancient Romans believed the mineral water was an eternal spring that flowed from Viennese's hilltop. Their goal for immortality didn't exactly work, but they did build a tunnel through the mountainside to Viennese. They believed the top of the hill beneath the castle was the mouth of the eternal spring. The halflings had to leave the area when they became conspicuous. Let's see, not much activity at Viennese for the next 100 years. And once the legends died, the halflings came back. And there's another castle here in Germany and one in France, and a few others scattered around the globe. And he says my favorite place is in Switzerland. And then Raven kisses Nikki, and I was thinking, thank Tommy and Arceus, you kissed her, because damn it, Nikki wasn't going to do it, so why the fuck not? And And I'm thinking, and Raven, I'm ready to fly. I would let him carry me. I would trust him. I totally would. And Mace and Gearhead saw them kiss, and I was thinking, oh shit. Oh shit. And Mace got jealous as a motherfucker. Yeah, Mace is that jealous. I told you, Mace is controlling. And after overhearing Will and the female halfling say shit about her, Nikki returned to Damon. Oh my god, that was just like, oh my, Kami and Arceus. I was just like, Nikki, really? Really? You should have just waited to see what the hell, like, you should have talked to them to see what the hell was going on. But basically they were, you know, but I understand because she was kind of scared and shit of what was, she's scared of Will. She was intimidated of Will. But Will was waiting for Nikki to come to him, which I thought was, I was thinking, Will, you should have just went to her, to be honest. That's understandable. But anyway, so it turns out that, wait, where are you? So Zero found another file with Nikki's name, and it also said surgery. Holy shit. Which is kind of weird, right? So anyway, the halflings are back in Missouri to go find Nikki. So hate is consuming Nikki, which is scary, and she's playing into the enemy's hand because this is, I swear to Kami. Just wait. I'm gonna get to the level of trolling here that's about to happen. So Vessler brings Chrissy, her best, Nikki's best friend, to Casey Keys, and then Mace comes over and kisses her, and Nikki finally sketches Mace and sees and Mace sees how halflings mate, which is similar to bald eagles, which I thought was so cool. That was basically the same mating ritual as bald eagles, and it makes me curious if all Nephilim mate like that. It makes me wonder about that. But at the same time, I understand. What was it? What was I thinking? I just totally lost my head. But the thing is that not all Nephilim and not all Nephilim in the series, not all Nephilim in the #AngelReadAthon, I should say, have wings, so they can't exactly mate that way. So it's an interesting thought. It's interesting to think about it. How Nephilim really mate, especially and another interesting thought is how triplate mate as well. I'm kind of curious about that. We'll get to that. We're gonna get to that in the next series of Book Nerdigans reading this Book Nerdigan videos. We will. But anyway, so Nikki tells Mace to stay away. She's just so consumed with hate because of what was going on that she tells Mace to stay away. She just can't deal with this shit. And Nikki, then we find out that Nikki is really a halfling. Yeah, she's a halfling. And Mace and Raven can cross into the property and save her from Vessler. And Vessler organized her whole life. And I'm going into manga nerdigan shit right now. This is on the level of trolling of oh, I want to say this is like Bach and this is more like this is Bach and Eisen level of trolling. This is Bach and Eisen level of trolling. If you read Bleach, you know what I'm talking about. This is Bach and Eisen level of trolling. This is all according to plan level of trolling shit. That's what I'm talking about. If you haven't read Bleach manga, go read it. Don't watch the anime. Go read it. I gotta still do a video on a rant on that, but I will get to that at some point. But anyway, so this is the plan. So Nikki was born in a lab, and she is one of the, I think she's the only, yeah, she's the only, no, she's not the only female halfling. She is the only female halfling that can give birth to multiple offspring. Yeah, she's the only one that can give birth to multiple offspring, because female halflings can only give birth to one offspring in their lifetime, which is interesting. And it makes you but that's not true in the case of most. You'll notice in the hashtag AngelReadAthon, you'll notice throughout that that's not the case with most Nephilim. You'll notice that. Let's see. What the plan was is that they were going to remove her eggs and use the DNA to create a Darkling army. But Nikki had to be turned over to the other side via hate. Because remember, in if you don't know how that shit works, go back to the Halfling Nerdigate video or go read Halfling, because that was all explained in that first book. Anyway, so this is what Will says right here. So male halflings reach the age of accountability in their teen years. For each it's different. So Raven was barely 17 when he tapped in. Mace was 17 as well, and Vine, my early bloomer, was 15. So halfling females tend to reach the age of accountability around 18, sometimes 19 or even 20. Females are raised to the age of accountability by Zions. Since females tap in later, they are raised by Zions with a heavenly angel overseeing in their lives. They are usually grown college age when they tap in, so they live together. But a heavenly angel doesn't need to be there as well. Excuse me. Winter, Vegan, and Glimmer have their own apartment downtown, but there's an overseeing angel. The girls were placed in my care. I'm the overseeing angel. Yeah, they had an overseeing angel before Will, but ever since they started working with Mace, Raven, and Vine, they were placed in Will's care. And then this is what Will says. This is what Will says on Bessler's plan. So in your case, Bessler kept an eye on you, and when you began to show the signs, he threw his plan into gear. Yeah, this is when this is when it's getting to the Bach and Eisen level of troll shit. Yep. First, it was fortunate for him that you become a seer, just like it was fortunate for Ichigo to become a Shinigami. It made tapping into the supernatural realm easy. He'd simply drop something before your eyes that would cause you to draw. You'd sketch what your mind saw, not realizing it was the other realm. And Will, on Nikki's role, monster like him, basically. Yes, with Fear as his wingman, but you're not like him, Nikki, not physically, emotionally, or genetically. And Zero knew all along. Yeah, Zero knew it. I don't know, I'm just trying to think if Zero is a troll at this point. I don't know if this is trolling for Zero, but Nerdigans, let me know in the comment section if you think Zero was trolling as well. I'm curious if you guys think Zero was trolling. So, spying on Bessler confirmed that Bessler was behind the death of Nikki's parents. Yeah, basically. And Nikki runs into Michael, the sheriff's son, and he takes her to Bessler's mansion. And Nikki was trapped on a plane that's about to crash with Bessler, and she shot him in both of his legs. She was going to kill him. I swear to God, Narcissus, she was going to kill him. And if she killed him, she would have turned, because she was going to kill him in hatred and revenge, basically. And Mace and Raven came to the rescue, obviously, and Titanium is basically kryptonite. And, ha, you bastard, no ring cups for you. And then Nikki was drugged, that son of a bitch. And Nikki is becoming more like Raven. And this is another reason why to be more Team Raven. But anyway, an angel, and I thought this was so sweet. Well, Nikki left with Mace. But an angel at the end, this is how the book ends, and I love it. So, Raven prayed, and his question was, if Nikki would be okay. And an angel actually came down, a full-blooded angel came down and answered Raven's question. And it's so cool that this is why I love the theme of the series, of the power of prayer. I think that's amazing. And the angel said no, because a seeker has been released from the pit. And I love the answer, because Raven asked him why did he say this, basically? Why did the angel say this? And the angel said, because he asked. He said, because you asked. And I started laughing. I was like, that's gotta be, that's like a thank you, Captain Obviously kind of answer. And I love the final line of this book, too. So Raven was left with one hammering thought. He had to get to Nikki before it was too late. Because it's like a good conclusion. It's a good cliffhanger, so it gets you pumped for the next book in the series. So that's how Guardian ends. I love this book. It was a great read. It was awesome. I'm still Team Raven all the way. Mace is still a controlling freak. I still don't like that Nikki is still choosing Mace. I don't like it. I don't like that shit at all. I'm sorry. I don't. I really don't. And it makes you wonder something. If Raven would have been the one to save Nikki from in Halflings, if it would have turned out different, if the story would have turned out different, so thus far. So anyway, Nerdigans, I want to know your opinion. Did you like this book? Did you like this as a second book of the trilogy? Because I know a lot of second books in trilogies are usually meh. And this is a good one. I like this one a lot. You get a lot of information out of it. You get a lot of shocking information out of it that usually doesn't occur until the final book of the trilogy, which is, I love that shit. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think. Anyway, I want to know if you're, of course, hashtag Team Raven or hashtag Team Mace. I want to know what your halfling name would be. And you'll understand why in the next book Nerdigan video. And also, Heather, if you ended up watching this whole video, I would love you to tweet me my halfling name. That would be really awesome. Anyway, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. And also, please donate to my Patreon. That would be awesome if you donated to my Patreon so I could get more amazing series added to my library, so I can bring you more amazing Book Nerdigan videos and expand the Book Nerdigan videos as well, and expand Nerdigans Inc. too. Anyway, and also remember to follow me on Twitter, and my Twitter handle will be in the description box below, as well as my Patreon, and I will be seeing you in the next Book of Nerdigan discussion video, which will be the final book, or hopefully not the final book in this series. Heather, you need to write more. I'm telling you right now, and I will mention, and you'll understand why, in the next Book of Nerdigan discussion video, which will be Avenger by Heather Burch. Until next time, Nerdigans, I will see you later. Bye!